We are going to be talking about the elements of art this whole week. So, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you're going to be learning about line, space, and value. So, we're going to go through each one of those and how you can incorporate those into your artwork. So, I heard Scott already explaining what we need for the class. So, just to make sure, does everyone have a pencil? If you have a Sharpie, that's great, or something to color with, and something to color with, I should say. Is everyone good on that? Okay, I say yep.
Yeah,
Pause.
thumbs up. Yep.
Okay, perfect. So we're gonna actually just warm up for a few minutes and start with line patterns. I know we talked about this. If you were in the classes last week, we did talk about line patterns a little bit already, but I just wanted to see if you want to type in the chat or if you want to say a line pattern out loud, you can. As an example, a line pattern would be anything you can do with a line. So I could draw a vertical line. I'm going to do it in my Sharpie so you can see, which is just like that. I can also do a horizontal line, and then you can do different patterns. So does anyone want to share a pattern?
Oh, Dylan would like to share.
Dylan.
Um, like a straight line, horizontal line, straight line, horizontal line, straight line, horizontal line.
So are you talking like, kind of like a checkered pattern?
No, I'm talking like, I'll draw it. Like this. Hold on. Okay, like this.
Oh, very nice. That's a good line pattern. Okay, so we can do that here.
Karen and Kellen say barber lines.
Barber lines. Are you talking about like barbed wire? Or the barber
I
pole?
wonder if the pole maybe.
Let's see. I'm going to wait until they respond to that, and I'll move on to Megan. Oh, there they
There
are.
they are, sorry.
Like the pole. I learned
The barber pole.
like I learned it at school. Like this.
Oh, they can't see. Hold on. Take off the background. Put mine right there. See?
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Okay, so like a barber pole. If you've seen a barber pole, they're usually white and red. And the lines they usually spin around the little pole. So it's usually a 3D thing, and it spins around the whole pole. And then what else do we have? Megan said zigzag, so you could do zigzag lines. Those are awesome. And you can even do a variation, so you have little tiny ones and really big ones. And then what else do we have?
Liliana and Heather Rose said like a staircase.
A staircase. You can definitely do a pattern like that. And then what about something not so sharp? What else could we do with a line that's not so sharp?
Dylan's here.
Hey, Dylan.
You can like hold on. I just have to put my virtual background because then you can't see it. Okay, that's better. So like you can do it kind of like maybe like that. Wait, like that.
Yeah, you could definitely do something like that.
Carl said crosshatch.
Cross hatching. Yeah, so cross hatching is almost like a checkerboard, but with the cross hatching, it's really close together. It's really good to use that for shading too. So something like that.
And Heather Rose mentioned squiggles.
Squiggles. Yes, I love squiggles. So you can do any variation of squiggles. You can do something like that. You can make it do things like that, or just a circular pattern like that. Very nice. Anyone else? Anyone else have any other ideas?
Megan had an idea.
Hey, Megan. Oh, yes, you
Something
can
like
totally.
that.
Something like that. You can also do dashed lines as well. So if you just want to do simply something like this,
Come
or
right here.
even dotted lines, that's another thing you
Rhiannon,
can
the
do.
girl that did that.
Liliana and Heather Rose mentioned waves.
Waves. Okay, so if you want to, I'm running out of room here, but if you want to do something like that.
What are you looking for?
Okay, these are really great examples, actually. I got a lot of good examples of line patterns for everyone. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna go along with you, but what we're gonna do is, if you have been drawing along with me, go ahead and grab a new sheet of paper. And we're actually gonna trace our hands on our new sheet of paper. You wanna trace them 3 times. If you wanna do it more than 3 times, that works too. But we're gonna create different line patterns within the tracings of our hands. So what you want, to make it pretty interesting, you'll wanna trace your hand on different areas of the paper. And I'm gonna get my whole hand. So if my wrist is on the paper a little bit too, I wanna trace my wrist as well. Because what I wanna make sure is that my lines are hitting the edge of my paper. So once I've traced my first hand, what I wanna make sure is that there's some overlap. So I'm gonna switch sides. And maybe I wanna make it super interesting and put my hand on top like this. You can turn your paper. That way you can get it better than, I look a little awkward right now because I am up on the wall, but you can turn your paper, trace your hand on the other side. And my arm is on the paper a little bit, so I'm gonna trace that as well. So see how I've hit all the way to the edge of my paper. I just realized it looks a little light, so I'm gonna outline this in Sharpie too. And then this section of my paper is pretty open, so I wanna fill it up with another tracing of my hand. We love when the whole paper is filled up. So if you have a big section of empty space, that would be a great place to add a tracing of your hand. So I'm gonna outline this real quick so you can see it better. And if you did it in pencil too, now's a great time to actually outline it in Sharpie. I'm just gonna trace the lines that I just drew so I can see my hand better.
Did you do right and left hands or just one?
I actually just did one because I'm right-handed and it's really difficult for me to use my left hand.
Okay.
But that is a great idea. If you can trace both hands instead of just your right or your left hand, by all means. I'm gonna switch sides here.
Is this good?
Yeah, that looks great. So you want to make sure there is a little bit of overlap. And Dylan, I saw you had some overlap on your hand too. We're going to use these little sections that we've made. Okay. So what we're going to do is fill up every area of our hands with line patterns. So just to make sure everyone sees this, we have different areas that we can fill up with different types of line patterns. Does everyone see when I overlap, I have these different shapes that have appeared in these little areas? So this would be considered one big shape right here, this whole section of my hand. My palm, my pinky, and my thumb. This is all one shape that I could add a pattern in. But within my fingers, I have these little tiny areas. So here's one area right here. That would be a shape. And then here's another tiny area right here. That would be a shape. So in these little tiny sections that I have, I'm going to fill these up with different line patterns. So just to make a clear example, if I wanted to add just some diagonal lines here, I'm only going to fill up this section. And then I have my other shape here. So I'm going to fill this up with a different line pattern. So maybe I want to do a couple circles like that. And then let me hold this up closer so you can see. So does everyone see the little tiny section that I added different patterns on? So this would be its own, this would be its own, and then this would be its own. And you're going to continue to do that in every section. If you run out of ideas for line patterns, don't worry. If you want to repeat some, you're welcome to. So if you did maybe you did a little tiny pattern right here. I have my little tiny circles here, but maybe I want to make some bigger circles. I can do more circles in a different area. That's totally fine. The other thing too is line patterns. When you connect lines together, does anyone know what that creates? If you connect one end of a line to the other end of a line? Who can tell me? Megan? No?
No.
So that creates a shape. So if you use your line patterns to create different shapes, that's perfect. You can also add different words. Maybe you want to add a word in here. You can do that and then make some line patterns around it, make it look really interesting that way. You can also do, so say you really like flowers and you want to draw flowers in different areas in your hand, you can do that too. Whatever you feel. You're going to fill up this whole section. So you can start with your pencil or you can start with your Sharpie. I'm going to use my Sharpie. That way you can see the different line patterns that I'm using throughout my hands. And then if we have enough time at the end, I'd love to see some color added as well. I have my colored pencils with me right here. So if I don't finish filling mine up, I at least want to show you what they look like colored because they're beautiful. Okay. All right, so I'm going to continue. I have my dashed lines. I added some circles. The next thing I want to do is, let's see. You know what? I think I am going to write a word in here. Let's see. I'm going to switch sides. I've been missing nature, going outside. So I'm going to write nature in here. And I'll show you an example of how you can fill up that area with a word. All right, so there's my giant word. Another thing I should add too is while you're drawing your line patterns, thin lines and thick lines are also different types of line patterns. So you can make your lines really thick too. I'm going to make my letters for my word thick, just so it stands out a little bit more. And if I'm covering it up a little bit, I'm going to move my hand momentarily. So sorry about that. All right, and there is my word. So you can do something like that. So it fills up that whole section, and you have a separate pattern in that hand. And maybe what I'll do too is add different line patterns around it as well.
Rhiannon,
Yeah.
Jade commented that she doesn't understand. She came in a few minutes late.
Jade. Let's see. So what we're doing, Jade, just to start, is you're going to trace your hand 3 times on your sheet of paper. So what you want to make sure is that the tracing is hitting the edge of the paper. So see how if my wrist shows up a little bit, I still drew a line, so it hits the end of the paper. That way I can fill it up with different line patterns. The art element that we're focusing on is line specifically, so that's why we're filling this all up with just different designs like that. What you want to make sure while you're tracing your hand 3 times is that there's some overlap. So as you can see with mine, I started my hand here, and then I took up the whole sheet of paper. So I added a tracing of my hand here, and then I did it upside down right here as well. Once you do that, I am doing mine in Sharpie. You can also do yours in Sharpie because it really brings out all of the design. Once you do that, you're going to fill up these little sections with different designs. So what I explained to the rest of the class before, I'm going to bring my paper up so you can see it better, is each one of my outlines creates a different shape. So if you can see, like these little areas right here, they create their own shapes. So I have this section filled in with a circular pattern. This right here is filled in with zigzags, but each one of these areas is going to have a different line pattern. So that's what we're working on right now. You're not too far behind at the moment, actually. We're just filling up our different areas with line patterns right now. So I'm using Sharpie the whole time. If you want to start with pencil, you can. If you want to just use your Sharpie, that's fine too. But if we have enough time, one thing I talked about is we're going to add some color in here too to make it look really, really interesting. Does that help, Jade?
Rhiannon,
Yes.
Yes.
could you hold up that different type of line paper that you first started on, and that might help her, and it would help me because I came in late too.
Oh, no worries. So here is the line
Okay.
patterns we talked about.
Okay.
So we talked about zigzags, cross hatching is one, some squiggle lines, different types of zigzags you can do with the variation. This is a wave pattern that someone suggested, barber lines, just dash lines or dotted lines, anything like that.
That helps a lot. Thank you.
Of course. And one thing I shared too is if you want to add different patterns or different shapes, or maybe you want to draw flowers, if you like flowers, you can do that as a pattern as well. You would just repeat that in that section that you're doing. And then one thing I also said, as you can see in the examples, I wrote a word out. So if you want to fill up huge sections with a word, you can do that as well. And then what I'm going to do is just add some line patterns around the word that I wrote. Does that help?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Did everyone have a good Easter? I'm not sure if everyone
No.
did something.
Megan had a good Easter.
That's good. What was your favorite part about it, Megan?
Probably the egg hunt. We do like an egg hunt thing, so that's probably it.
The egg hunt. That used to be my favorite too. Especially getting the treats inside the eggs.
Yeah.
Did I see Heather Rose give a thumbs up for having a nice Easter?
Yes, we did.
Awesome. What was your favorite part?
Probably either the egg hunt or after the egg hunt we played trumps. That was fun too.
Nice.
Carl
That's fun.
says Passover's going good.
Passover's going good. That's good. It's nice because it's nice to have something. I know there's a few different holidays going on in April, but it's nice to have something to do to fill up our days, I think.
Mom,
At least
pasta?
say that again.
Never mind.
Simeon says we had an Easter egg hunt at home.
Nice. Did you get any good treats?
Yes, there were gourmet jelly beans and
Ooh,
chocolate.
Nice.
sounds good.
Taryn and Kellen said they did that inside too.
Very nice. Yeah, I was really excited that it wasn't raining because I got to hang out outside for a little bit. The dog was very happy as well.
Jade's asking if you can write in your hand.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, so I just have one word here, but if you want to do a couple different things, you're welcome to do that too.
I think Dylan would like to share hers.
Dylan, let's see it.
I'm not finished, but this is what I've done so far.
Oh my gosh, look at those great line patterns. Wait, hold it up again. Oh my gosh, there's such a big I love the different detail and the contrast between your thick lines and your thin lines. Really cool, Dylan. Great job.
Where's that color?
Okay, so I filled up that section. Now that I've done a word, I'm gonna go into these little tiny areas where I don't have any line patterns yet. See if I can fill it up with something. Let's go. All right. Yeah, I think once we start adding color to these, it'll really bring out the designs that you're all doing. Did anyone in the class do the Matisse-inspired paper cutouts this morning?
Yes. Yeah. Quite a few, actually.
Oh, nice. Does
Jade
anyone want?
Jade has
Oh.
her hand up. No?
Did anyone have a favorite part about that class? Oh, go ahead, Jade.
I made a robot and my parents.
You made a robot of your parents? Is that what you said?
No, I made a robot and my parents.
And your parents. Very nice.
Liliana and Heather Rose say that they have theirs right there.
You have yours with you?
Yeah. This is my first one.
Oh, how cool.
This is my second.
Very nice. That looks really good.
The roses are right here.
Oh, so awesome.
That's my first one. That's her second.
Nice, ladies. Those are really cool. So those of you that did not get a chance to see that class, Lee is actually going to be doing paper projects like that all week. Those will be really fun. And I don't know if she was able.
Tomorrow, right?
Yeah. I don't know if she probably told everyone this, but did you all know that Matisse also did collage? At one point, he was in a wheelchair and he did collage with his feet. Fun fact.
Megan says, what?
Yeah. Yeah, he had all those paper cutouts and he would put them together with his feet. He's done some really beautiful work too.
Heather Rose says, wow.
Yep. All right, just filling my line patterns. Hopefully everyone's hands aren't too sore yet. And I apologize if you start to hear chickens. They can get kind of loud. They've been really quiet, but not today.
How many chickens?
I just have two.
Oh, okay.
Two beautiful little hens.
We used to have 3 hens and a rooster.
Oh, it'd be so cool to have a rooster. We just didn't do that because our neighbor.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I think Dylan would like to share hers.
All right, Dylan, let's see it.
I finished 5 hands.
Oh my gosh. Oh, and you added some squiggly lines. So nice.
Wow.
So nice. You know what would be really cool? If you have colored pencils or crayons, you should fill in some of these areas with colors.
Can I start that?
Yeah, you can start that. That's totally
I
fine.
have all colors and Sharpies, so can I use those?
Of course. Yeah, you can use Sharpies. Does anyone else want to share their progress so far?
Oh, Megan. I saw Megan's hand up.
Love it, Megan. Oh, and you added a word in there too. I love that you hid it behind your thumb. That's really cool. It's really interesting.
Up next
Very
is
nice.
Jade.
Ooh, nice, Jade. That's coming along so great. Oh, and you wrote a word in there too? Love it. Awesome. Can't wait to see more designs in there too. Okay, who's next?
Oh, I see Amelia's hand up. Let's
Hey, Amelia. Oh, that looks so good. And you added some flowers in there too. I love that you use the different color Sharpie or markers.
very cool.
Yeah,
Thank
it looks really beautiful.
Thanks.
Yeah, of course.
I see a hand up, but I don't see video. Sethan had his hand up. Oh, here's a video.
Oh my gosh, look at all that detail. That looks so good. Great job.
Thank you.
And you've started to add color. Are you going to add some more color?
Yes.
Awesome. Great job. That looks really cool.
Very cool.
Anyone else? Wasn't sure if I saw any more.
I don't see any more hands up, but it looks like Megan did some extreme parkour grabbing a pencil.
Oh, what? That's so funny.
It was on the floor, so I had to like, yeah.
Very nice.
Oh, Taryn and Kellen, their hands are up.
Oh, awesome. Let's see them. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love that you did your fingers as different patterns since you didn't have any overlap. That looks really cool. Ooh, and I love that pattern on your index finger.
Thank you.
Beautiful. That's going to look great when you start adding more color too. Awesome job, everyone. These look really cool. All right, I'm going to keep going with my line pattern here. All right, I've been doing a lot of straight lines too, so I'm starting to add some squiggles in here as well. Just to break it up a little bit.
I think Dylan would like to share.
All right, Dylan,
I'm
let's see it.
starting to do some really cool things like create like that.
Oh, I love that. I see the color there. That's really nice.
Thank you.
Of course. I'm just adding some more circles here. I had a little section already, but I'm going to use this bigger section to add some more. Really fill up the space too. Then I don't know if anyone else does this, but while I'm drawing too, I keep thinking of the next pattern I'm going to do. As I'm finishing one, I'm like, oh, I could do this pattern. Oh, that one would be cool.
Megan says she does that too.
You just have to, and then you just find the spot that you want to put it in.
Oh, Jade needs to go. Bye, Jade.
Bye, Jade. Good to see you. Okay. And
So after Megan thinks about it, she says, and then I end up adding to my patterns.
oh, yeah. Love that.
Oh, adding to mini patterns. I'm sorry.
Right, I got some little cloud shapes in mine. Fill this little area up. I like filling the bigger spaces up with larger patterns. And then these little tiny sections, I like to fill in dark and like, you know, with little tiny details too. I do love the way that if you have some overlap that Megan cut off her word too. So it's kind of behind that other shape that she had. Now that I'm starting to fill up my larger areas, it looks like I have a lot of little tiny shapes that I still need to fill in too. And while you're working on this, a ton of you already did this, but if you do have some areas that aren't quite filled in, these always look so interesting when each area is filled in with a line pattern. So really challenge yourself if you haven't filled in every area. Try to see what other patterns you can do, and even if it's something simple. Like a couple of my areas just have little circles. One of them just has diagonal lines. Super simple, but it takes up the blank space.
I just finished the hand.
You finished a hand?
Yeah.
Oh, with the color, looks so good, Dylan. Looks so nice. All right, so there's that section. Now, let's see what else I can come up with. Just added a little zigzag line. Okay. Let's see what else can I add in here. Like adding these squiggly shapes too. All right, and I still have a couple sections to do, but I just wanted to hold it up close. If you all needed some inspiration, here's the patterns that I've got. I have a couple shapes left here that I need to fill in. But since we only have about 15 minutes left, I'm gonna start adding in some color. That way you can see what it looks like with the color. If you've already started, great. I know some of you have started adding color already. So let's see, what do I want to do? Start with some blue and purple. How are everybody's hands doing? Everyone holding up okay?
It's like everyone's hard at work.
Awesome. And I'm moving on to color just so you can start to see what it looks like with the color. But if you're still drawing patterns, as you can see, I had some open spots still. So don't worry if you're still drawing. You can always add color after the class too. Yeah, these are nice too, because even if you don't have time to finish the whole project, it's a nice, we want you all to have something to do while you're at home too, if you don't have other activities you can do. So this is always great to just continue after class with any of the projects. All right, so I got some blue and purple in mine. Now I think I'm gonna switch to red and orange. There's a section of red and orange. All right, see if I can add some green here.
I just finished another hand.
Another one?
Yeah.
Ooh, I like the colors you used for that one too. So cool. Thanks for sharing. And dark. All right, so I'm going in with some dark green and then a little bit of light green. And I can even do a darker green around. Okay. And I have my little cloud design, so I'm gonna add a blue for that. Let's see. This one's really nice. Here. Now, as you can see, I just used Sharpie to outline mine, and then I'm using colored pencils in the middle. I've done this project with just Sharpies. I know Dylan's got some great examples of what those look like, fill in with that. But the Sharpies are great too because they're so bold. So those colors really stand out when you add when you use the Sharpie, I should say. Okay. Still color here. Oops. How's everyone doing? Does anyone want to share their progress? If you didn't get a chance to last time, now's a great time.
I don't see any hands up yet. I think everyone's still working.
Everyone's working. Awesome.
Oh, Liliana and Heather Rose say we can share ours.
Awesome. Let's see ya.
They're not done, but
That's okay.
here's all the roses.
Oh, awesome. Look at that. The color looks awesome.
Here's mine.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, look at those patterns.
Very cool.
Really nice job, ladies. Thank you.
Oh, Sethan has his hand up.
Sethan, let's see it.
Let's see, put on spotlight. Okay.
We have to tell him it's your sister.
Hey, this is my sister Olivia.
Hi, Olivia. Oh my gosh, I love it. The color looks so good. You spell your name with an A?
Yes.
Say yes.
Nice. I like that.
Say Say thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing.
You're welcome. Bye.
Megan's ready to share hers.
Awesome, Megan. Let's see it.
Okay, I'm not fully done, but here are mine so far.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's such a huge difference when you add the color, right?
Yeah, it's really pretty.
I
the
like
color.
it. I like that a lot. Thank you. I know, it looks so cool. Sometimes I get torn because it always looks so good with just if you just do a Sharpie, the black lines. I love the way it looks doing it that way. But man, when you add the color, it just looks it just adds something so different. Awesome. So, let's see. Got a couple more clouds I'm filling in here. And honestly, I might leave the line pattern that I did around the clouds how it is. I don't think I'm going to add color to that. Because it makes the clouds, emphasizes the clouds a little bit more with it just black and white around it and the clouds being colored. Not used to drawing up on an easel like this the whole class. It's a shoulder workout for me. Okay. All right. Yeah, I think the clouds I'm going to stick with the color and just leave the outlines around it black and white. I think that would look good that way. So I'll hold mine up a little bit. That way you can see any detail if you want. So with this section, I used 3 different types of greens. So you can even fluctuate between colors like that. I just used red and orange in this area here. And I think in here I'm going to fill up with just the red and orange and the blue and purple. But those are some different examples of color that you can add in there too. And even if you want to fill in some sections here, so instead of doing like some I filled in just black, I could even just fill that up with a solid color as well. That would still look really neat. All right. And since we only have a couple more minutes left, I'm just gonna, while you're all working, I'm gonna start, I'd love to see some more, but I'm just gonna share what the rest of the week looks like. That way you know. So every day we have a class at 10 and noon, every day during the week. Tomorrow you're gonna have Lee again in the morning and Ben in the afternoon. And then I'll be back on Wednesday at noon. So on Wednesday, we're gonna learn about space and we're gonna create a really cool paper project called a noton. And on Friday, our last class at noon will be about values. So those are the elements that we'll go through those 2 days. Check our website too, because we have Ben's new classes and days and my new classes and days. And then we have a new teacher as well, which will be really, really fun. So check the website. That's all updated and we'll have the class days and times there. And then I'd love to see any more before we end the class. I think I saw someone who did want to share. Is it Simon? Is it Simone? Simon?
Simeon?
Yeah, this is my dad's.
I love that. That looks really cool. Super simple patterns, but you filled it up with the letters too. Like it.
Oh, I see a hand up here. Taryn's hand up.
Taryn, let's see your progress. Oh, very nice. Very nice. Do you use the color patterns in the rest of your fingers too? I love that everyone added some words in there too. It looks really nice.
And there was a comment in the chat. Rhiannon, did you see the words in Liliana's?
The word, I don't know if I saw the words in Liliana's.
I sort of disguised them, but here it's a song.
Oh, I love that.
Where is it? Yeah, I can't find it.
Oh, I kind of see it.
Upside down. Can you see that? Oh yeah, it says truth.
Oh, I love that. That's a great idea. Great inspiration for other people too, to kind of hide the words within them. That looks really neat.
Oh, Carl would like to share.
Awesome. Carl.
And then Judy.
Oh, look at that. I love the colors that you used in there. That looks rad. Thanks, Carl.
Let's see. Judy's up next.
Not Judy. I love it. Yeah, so those intricate, I'd love everyone to look at Judy's got her little tiny areas that she's filled in with different line patterns. And it just fills it up so nicely. It almost looks like a quilt. That's what it kind of reminds me of in the center.
It will be so much fun for the kids in the fall. I
Right?
think they'll love doing that.
Thanks for showing.
Thank you. Great idea.
Anyone else want to share before we wrap up? It's 1 o'clock right now.
I just saw Dylan's hand go up.
Dylan.
So I didn't add any words, but this is what I've done so far.
Oh, that's great.
I love it. I see a little bit more that I didn't see before at the top. Very
Want to add
nice.
some more color in there?
No, you do it.
That looks great, Dylan. Thank you.
Thank you.
I see Sethin's hand up. I don't see a video though.
I just have one more hand.
Oh, here's a video.
This is his other sister, Nevaeh.
Oh, I love that. Love the
that's
patterns that you
great.
used. Yeah.
Thank you.
I like the way you really filled up the space that you have in your hands.
Thank you.
And I saw Amelia's hand up.
Hey, Amelia. Oh my gosh, that looks so good.
Thanks.
Did you have love in there before, or did you add that?
I added.
You added it. I love it.
Add.
That's a great addition.
Thanks.
Thanks for sharing. Awesome, everyone. Well, that wraps up the class. So like I said, we really want you all to utilize the time that you have with these projects. So we want to make sure that we're creating things that you can do on your own time as well. So if you haven't finished, I really encourage you to finish. I'm going to add some more details on mine as well, but I really appreciate everyone coming today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a
Bye.
great day.
Thank
You too.
you.
Oh, Simeon has his to share.
Simeon. Oh, Simeon, that looks so cool. And you did more. Oh my gosh, and you did 5 hands. So nice.
Thank
I take it you like comics?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That looks so good. I like that you did 5. Really great job.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Well, I will be back on Wednesday, so hopefully I'll see you all back here at noon then. All right. Have a good day.